All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
So we're playing the intro twice. That's cool.
So nice. We'll play it twice, Frankie. What'd I tell you?
I mean, why not? We might as well play it 3 times. We're lucky.
Such a good intro, man.
Yeah, and then we got a host with soccer who doesn't even know he's muted.
All right. Hey, one of these days I'll get it right, or my computer's going to get better. One of the two, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens. In any event, lots of things are going on. Lots of things are going on. Before we get into some of these trades that have happened in the Major League Baseball, we're going to talk about this panel. As your boy, got our boy Frankie, the Yankee, in the house. Frankie, how is it going, my brother?
What's going on, guys? I'm just, over here representing my daughter's cheerleading team by, taking her to cheer camp and getting ready for the season. Also watching the young bucks on the football field and getting ready for the future wide receivers, quarterbacks, and stuff like that up here in New York. So I'm having a good day, and I'm ready to talk some MLB trades.
Man, you are not lying. Gonzo, I know we talked a little bit this morning or this afternoon on the afternoon show about some of the trades. Obviously, a lot more trades have happened since then. How you doing, my brother?
Fuck the Cincinnati Reds.
I was about to say, you got a whole brand new team, Chris.
Yeah, I already know. I think I might know 3 guys left on the team.
Oh,
we'll get rid of them 3 so we can just start off brand new.
Hey,
why do you need Frankie the Yankee?
I was about to say they need 6 spots. We can fill in, I'm sure.
They had to get rid of everybody.
They got rid of all the ones you loved. They got rid of Castillo. They got rid of Drury.
Yeah, they got rid of it. They cleaned house.
Yeah.
Chris's dad already Chris's dad already mentioned on Saturday he became a Dodgers fan.
That's true. That's true.
I'm not doing that yet, but I'm. It's getting hard to fucking root for him. I know
He ain't
that.
selling this all out yet.
Hey, I feel you, man. So, Rob, big shot, man. What's going on, brother?
Yo, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing out there tonight? Happy Tuesday. We're going to talk some of these baseball trades and everything else that's going on in sports.
Hell yeah. And there is a lot going on, I'll tell you that, man. Logan, what's up, my brother?
What up, Jay? Glad to be back after a week away on some vacation. I come back. The whole network's had a trade deadline. People leaving, people coming in. It's been fun. I can't wait to get on the show tonight, though, and talk sports.
Man, hey, what a time to be alive. And as always, Jonathan Mathis. What is up, my brother?
What's going on, fellas? How's everyone doing on this panel this on this lovely afternoon?
He's like so wide awake.
Hey, he's out there in
On the west
California,
side,
man.
Hey, we love the energy.
Yeah, man.
Hey, Jonathan, did you see where that stream froze up last night? We didn't get no video out of that show.
Oh no!
I tried contacting you before.
I know, I appreciate it, Frankie, but I had my phone on silent, didn't see it till after the show.
Oh,
Did we
We
at
got
least
8
get the
minutes.
audio?
It froze up at 8
no,
minutes.
yeah, everything froze up. No audio. The video wasn't moving.
That was a great show too.
It was working fine on my computer. I don't know what the hell happened.
A 2-man show.
Oh
Hey,
man.
that was just a whole lot of you guys having a good conversation.
Oh, I was
And
pissed.
you know what, Jay? That's what happens when they don't have us in that conversation.
Man,
Next
hey,
time,
listen,
next time, invite me, Jay, or Logan. Maybe it'll work then.
We still have a good
you'll at least hear the
podcast to
intro
see
2
people.
times if you have me on there, so it's all good.
Intro 2 times.
Hey, let's talk some stuff, man. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on. Hey, here's my deal, man. The Padres, excellent trade. Got Soto, got Bell. Honestly, like I was telling Gonzo, the Bell thing is better than the Soto because Soto's like 257. Bell's hitting 301. You team those guys up with Tatis and Machado, and they got that closer and Hader. Man, hey, these dudes are formidable. So I think the Padres did a good thing. They let go of some prospects. They sent Hosmer off to the Red Sox. But honestly, man, for what they brought in and what it means to that team, those prospects were worth it to let them go. And obviously, let Hosmer go was great because they brought in Bell as a first baseman, which pretty much eradicated Hosmer anyway. So not a bad deal for the Padres. They definitely upgraded. I can be honest with you, man. The Astros did good. We didn't give up much, but we got a lot in return. We gave up Siri and we gave up Odorizzi. Okay, I'll give up Odorizzi because obviously we got 5 starters. We got Lance McCullers coming back. We're gonna have 6 starters. We got plenty of starting. We needed some more bullpen help, and that's what we got in Will Smith. I know Will Smith. He is kind of an up and down guy, but I'm okay putting Will Smith in there for a 1 inning here, 1 inning there. That's perfect. And again, we got Vasquez as our catcher. He's batting 282, which is a position I really felt like the Astros needed to bring in to be competitive. And the fact that we went out and got Mancini and all we had to let go was Siri. We already had a crowded outfield, so that made perfect sense. And he bats 282, which beefs up our hitting rotation. So, man, what a time to be alive for the Astros. I thought the Astros did well. I thought the Padres did well. I think the Yankees made a couple of key acquisitions. And Benintendi, I didn't like the fact that you gave up Montgomery because why are you bringing in Montas saying you need you started pitching help, and then you're going to let go of Montgomery? To me, that just defeats the purpose. Hold on, defeats the purpose because you brought in another outfielder. And then you brought in Bader. The guy hits like 256. I didn't really quite get that, but I did like the fact that you got rid of Gallo. That was somebody you needed to get rid of, and they got a pitching prospect. You got one prospect out of it, a mid-level prospect, but ultimately you got rid of Gallo, and I think that's what you guys were wanting to do is move on from him. Again, I thought the Yankees were it wasn't bad for the Yankees. I think you definitely short up a couple of things with Montas in their rotation. I just didn't like the fact you got rid of Montgomery. But moving on, you go on to the Brewers. They give up their number 1 closer, and they bring in a guy who's not bad, but he's not as good as what they gave up. So the Milwaukee trade, closer for closer, didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Outside of that, I think those were really the big pickups in terms of teams. I don't understand why the Dodgers brought in Gallo. I thought that was kind of a wasted effort. And then he let go of Lamb. I don't know. I think the Dodgers kind of didn't really do a whole lot. I think the Padres significantly upgraded, and I think they're going to really challenge the Dodgers come playoff time. That's my kind of summary on what I thought about the trade deadline that happened. What did you guys think? We'll start top to bottom. Frankie, what's your opinion of the trade deadlines?
Yeah, Washington did a good job, trading away Juan Soto and Bell to the San Diego Padres. And I said it since the beginning, everybody didn't put the Padres in the conversation at first. And I said, watch some team like the Padres or the White Sox or somebody come in and sweep away Juan Soto. And best to believe the Padres gave a lot for Juan Soto. But, that's what you're going to do when you get a player like Juan Soto, especially young at his age. Everybody's forgetting the man won a World Series literally at 19 years old. So It's a good pickup for the Padres. I mean, Astros, Jay, you're a little funny with the Astros because last week you're like, I'm not, the Astros are fine everywhere. Our pitching rotation is wonderful. Our fielding is great. It's just the
Yeah,
catcher I'm worried about. But now
yeah.
you're getting now you're getting Mancini and everybody, and now you're like, man, what a time to be alive. Man,
Well, it
choose
is a
one,
time
Jay.
to be
All
like,
right,
because honestly, I thought
choose
the
one,
name
Jay.
was the catcher, but the fact that they brought in Mancini and they only gave up Siri for him, hey, that's like
You did
added
get you
bonus
did
to
get a
what I thought we
catcher.
needed.
And you did
Yeah,
get a good catcher. You got the catcher from Boston, which was a really good pickup, I believe. I think you did want what's that guy from the Cubs, Contreras, I think his
Contreras.
name
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you wanted him real badly, but you got Vasquez instead from the Boston Red Sox, and that
Yeah,
was a
I'm
good
not
Still
mad.
pickup,
not bad.
really well.
Yeah, not a bad place at all.
And I mean, especially me knowing him very well, being a Yankee guy and stuff, I know Vasquez well, and he hits the ball really good. So that was a good pickup and a good catcher. For the Yankees, at first it didn't get to me about Jordan Montgomery, but then I've seen, the last couple of games with Jordan Montgomery, and he wasn't really looking good like he did in the start of the season. He's been giving up a lot of runs early in the innings, giving us trouble trying to catch up. Especially that first game against the Mets, it was just terrible. And then the previous game against the God damn, I forgot who we played before Seattle. He pitched before the series against Seattle, and he didn't do really good in that one as well. Actually, against the Kansas City Royals, the one game the Royals beat us in for a 4-game series was against Jordan Montgomery, and I see it was a good move for the Yankees because you guys are also forgetting we got Luis Severino on the 60D IL. Once he comes back, he's going to go into that starting rotation. He's going to be second in our rotation behind Joey Gallo, and then you put Frankie Montas at number 3, with Jameson Tyone and Domingo Guzman. I think it'll be a perfect fit, and I'm gonna miss Jordan Montgomery, but sometimes you gotta let him go. But you are right, Jay. I am super relieved that we got rid of Joey Gallo. That was the one person I've been wanting to get rid of since day one. Still a little
Right.
confused on why we still have Miguel and Duhar. I don't know why we didn't get rid of Miguel and Duhar and try and get a prospect or something. But hey, hopefully we can do something in the near future for him. But it was a good trade around all around, except if you're a Cincinnati Reds fan. If you're a Reds fan, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Oh my God.
I think that's a
Shit,
good
not
segue into the next person on the
Hey, that's a
agenda.
nice segue though, Mr. Gonzo. Gonzo, man, what'd you think about this whole trade deadline, man, and all things that transpired?
The Padres definitely went all in, and people are talking so much about them getting Soto and Bell that people aren't even talking much about. They got Hader as well
Mhm.
to bring in as a closer, who I think is really going to help them. And then people forget about how well Profar is playing for him as well. So I mean, I think the Padres are going to be dangerous. Dodgers really didn't do much. I liked what the Yankees done. Getting Montas was the next best thing after they missed out on Castillo. I was surprised by the Orioles being sellers. I thought they would be more buyers with how well they were playing. So it kind of surprised me that they started getting rid of their young guys. But been pretty, it was a pretty good trade deadline. I think this year there was a little more action down toward the end of the deadline than there was last year, so it made it interesting.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Big shot,
Can I
Rob,
just say
man.
thank you to Jonathan? Can I just quickly say thank you to Jonathan? Thank you so much, Jonathan, for taking Joey Gallo off our hands. Good luck with him. I hope you guys can fit him.
You
Man
know
is
what?
batting
No,
a
no problem, no problem, my friend.
We go
He's
watch him
not
turn
gonna.
into a 260 hitter with 30 bombs.
Yeah, he's not gonna get that much.
Nah.
We got too much depth. We can rotate our players, so we won't see him too much if he's struggling. Trust me.
Big shot, Rob, man. What'd you think about this whole trade deadline, brother?
Yeah, there are a lot of big moves made. I was just taking a look at like the list on CBS Sports. Man, there are a lot of moves. I definitely like what the Padres did. You know, you get Juan Soto, who's such a good player, and then you get Josh Bell, who's a good switch-handed hitter. He's hitting like over 300. Now they had to give up like Eric Hosmer and Luke Voigt, but that's not a big deal. I mean, once you get Fernando Tatis back, and you put those other two guys in the lineup, I mean, their lineup's just going to be as effective as ever, as long as those guys can stay healthy. So I really like what the Padres did. Yankees, obviously they got another pitcher in Frankie Montez. I like him a lot. Yeah, they had to give up Jordan Montgomery. I liked him the season he was having. As far as Andrew Benintendi, he's been having kind of like a rough year. Hasn't been hitting too much. He was really good when he was with Boston. So if he can get like that hitting like he had when he was with Boston, when he won the World Series with them, that would really help the Yankees out a lot if he could get like that. And let me see what else, other moves.
We also got Lou Trevino and Essos
The Yankees
from the
got
Cubs.
yeah. You guys also got Harrison Bader, obviously center fielder. Toronto ended up getting Whit Merrifield from Kansas City.
That's a good pickup.
Yep. The Phillies got Noah Syndergaard.
Oh my God, how amazing! Jay,
Yeah.
Logan
just
is
kinda
pissed
going
about that.
Just going to the,
He went from one
another-
division rival to another,
another
and
big
he
one.
went down in the standings. So
This is another big one
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
Padres. The Padres got infielder Brandon Drury, who's been pretty good this year from the Reds. That guy has been like hitting like
They should have been an all-star.
the Reds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. And then obviously, I'm just looking at a few other ones. These teams aren't really doing much, so I'm not really. Obviously, the Red Sox got rid of a lot of people. The Red Sox got Eric Hosmer in return. The Red Sox made a lot of moves, and obviously, Joey Gallo to the Dodgers from the Yankees. Joey Gallo sucked pretty much this year, so I like that move.
What gets me is the Cubs didn't trade away Ian Happ or Contreras.
you know what the crazy part is? They both shared an emotional hug the other night, and now it's just kind of awkward.
Like,
Yeah, now they're like, well, I guess we're still here, so let's keep.
Well, I mean,
playing.
to be fair though, why didn't the Cubs trade them? You know, I mean, the Cubs suck. I mean, if you're gonna full on tank, why not trade some guys with value? But I mean, to each their own, right?
Yeah.
So look, what do you
Yeah,
think
that's
about
Robbie Grossman and Odorizzi.
Mm-hmm.
You got Robbie Grossman from Detroit. Obviously, you get Odorizzi from Houston. Those maybe those will be some decent moves right there. St. Louis got Jose Quintana, Chris Stratton.
it would have been real funny if the Tigers
Boston got
traded.
Tommy Pham. I don't know how he's doing good there. And then obviously Houston gets Vasquez.
I'm gonna say you trade the guy who beat someone up over some fantasy football. Attaboy, Chris.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah, the Yankees also got Lou Trevino. That was a decent move. You get pitching depth.
He's a reliever. I can't wait to hear Trevino pitches to Trevino.
Yeah, San Diego also got a pitcher. They got Josh Hader. That was a decent move. But
So, all right, hey, let me get Logan's perspective on what he thinks. Logan, hey, what do you think about these trades, man, and everything that went on today?
Yeah, so obviously, Jay, we already talked about it. Both our teams made a swap. You gave us Odorizzi. We gave you Will Smith. We'll see how they do, respectively. Obviously, we knew the Juan Soto trade was coming for weeks on end now. And, you know, there's only a few teams left. The Cardinals, the Padres. I forget the third, but it seemed more and more likely the Padres had the most to offer. They give up 5, I believe they're
The
top
Dodgers.
11. Dodgers, of course, yes. The Padres give up 5 of their top 11 prospects this trade deadline. But you do get Josh Bell, who's having a really good season. And, of course, you know, the generational talent and guy who's going to get a bag in Juan Soto. So I think it'll be worth it. Yeah, as for the Braves, like Rob mentioned, they got a few moves. They got Grossman from the Tigers. Can't save his life against righties, but crushes lefties. He'll be a platoon player, bench bat. They also, I think the very last trade that snuck in before the deadline ended, they got Raisel Iglesias from the Los Angeles Angels, their closer. So we got rid of Will Smith, gave him over to Jay. We got Iglesias in. We gave up Chavez.
Another guy that used to be a Red.
That too. Yankees made a good bit of moves, Frankie, as you know. Like I said, they got Bader, who is hurt. He's not going to be able to make it till probably the end of the season. They're hopeful he'll be back though. Um, and then also, like I said, you got a bunch of other guys too to help out your outfield. You got rid of Gallo, which was the sore spot that y'all have had all season. Um, we all know that the Reds had a fire sale.
I'm just glad we got
You got something out of. I mean, you got I think a guy
sorry.
who's in what, Double A, so you got something.
No, I was just saying, I'm glad we just got like a bunch of pitchers now. Like
Right.
we got relievers, starters. Like that's what we needed. We already got the fielders and hitters. We needed pitchers.
Right. The Red Sox made a few moves that were kind of iffy. I don't know if they're buying. I don't know if they're selling because they traded a good bit of players, but to equal or lesser value it seems. So they're kind of in a weird situation. We mentioned the Orioles kind of waved the white flag. They got rid of a few of their players. Looks like they're going to go back into hiding for the rest of the season after the nice stretch they had here lately. But overall, it was a good trade deadline overall for a few teams. I think the only team who did not make a trade was the Colorado Rockies, surprisingly, even though they are once again also terrible. But overall, like I said, really fun. There's a lot of trades compared to previous years, and it's always fun to just kind of sit there, check your phone, and watch as that clock goes to 6 o'clock Eastern and see what other deals get done. So good trade deadline overall, and really fun to watch today.
Yeah, man. Don't forget, Dodgers made a huge splash today, so don't forget that. They made a huge splash with Joey Gallo. Good job.
Yep.
That's a splash in the pool, you mean? He's going to be jumping, taking off some time.
From the East Coast to the West Coast.
Not what you think about that trade deadline. Obviously, from the Dodgers' perspective, that you can't read through Frankie's quite obvious sarcasm. You guys really didn't do a whole hell of a lot, but what did you think overall about everything that happened today?
Well, this was a transformational day in the modern era of baseball for the Padres. The Padres, man, they made quite a midsummer splash. They landed Juan Soto, a generational talent. And it's very rare that you find a generational hitter, somebody as good as Soto on the trade market.
And young, too.
And so young at age 23. So this was a historic thing in San Diego. As the Padres made this happen, they gave up a handful of prospects to get this deal done. And I mean, this was a massive, incredible, insane win for the Padres. And then a lot of people are not really making much of the Hader trade. That's huge too, because now you have a perennial closer, coming out for you in the ninth inning. This deal was simply done to put them over the top, to, allow them to make a run against the Dodgers in the tough NL West. This deal was done, and now this changes everything for everyone in the NL West. This makes the Padres better than what they were. I like the deal, and a lot of people are not talking about Josh Bell, who is having a phenomenal year quietly. And I just thought this was the greatest trade accusation in baseball history, to get Juan Soto. The baseball universe was, so hyped up about this. He was at the center of the baseball universe, and now the deal gets done. And then the Yankees, man, Frankie's Yankees did their thing. You got to give a lot of credit to them, because I always say pitching is critical in October. And that's what the Yankees did. They really, addressed their needs in the bullpen. I like what they did in their bullpen, getting Trevino, getting the dude from the Cubs. He doesn't give up a lot of home runs at all. That's a huge plus for them. And then sending off Joey Gallo. Yes, he's here in LA now, but hey, we have to deal with that. But I think overall the Yankees had a good trade deadline, and so did the Padres.
You know what's interesting to me about this whole trade deadline and everything that's occurred within the last, couple of days is I feel like the AL pretty much stayed the same. I think the Astros and Yankees are still equally comparable. And I think after the Astros and Yankees, it's just a big drop-off, maybe a little bit in Toronto, Tampa, but they really didn't make a lot of moves. So I'm telling you, I still think the AL goes through the Astros and Yankees. But the NL, good Lord, man, I think that's where I think you see the biggest difference, especially like you said with the Padres. The Mets are getting DeGrom back, and then then you got St. Louis and Dodgers. But I really think now you got to really think that these Padres are primed and ready for the Dodgers, and it's going to be interesting to see now what I thought was going to be a runaway for the Dodgers to go to the pennant. Now is not a runaway anymore. That now that San Diego's got 4 big bats with good pitching and a damn good ass closer. Now you got to be thinking like, well, now it's going to be an even kill battle for that spot in the pennant.
I wouldn't say that the Padres just yet because we're halfway or almost to the end of the season already, and the Padres are I think 13 games behind the Dodgers for the division.
Dodgers, but I think they get
But
the
no,
wild card
no,
spot.
no. I understand that, but you're also forgetting that they're missing some people too. Like for instance, Thais, he's out on injury right now. So what is he gonna look like when he comes back? I say maybe next year or 2 years from now, we're gonna see Padres holding up that World Series champion. If not, we're definitely gonna see it from 3 years from now. If they don't win within the next 3 years, something's going on, and this roster is gonna be a huge bust.
I mean, you never know what the scenario may look like in the postseason. I mean, we've seen teams get the wild card spot and they make a strong push in the playoffs. And, surprisingly, they're the team, crowned the champions. We've seen that repeatedly year after year. I'm not saying that's the Padres this year, but this does, scare the Dodgers a bit. I would say so. Dodger fans tell you otherwise. But I'm sitting here. I'm sitting here being an unbiased fan, and I'm going to tell you that the Dodgers have their work cut out for them now. And the Padres, like I said, the Padres simply did this so they can try to get on the Dodgers level.
Jay, you see what he did, Jay? He tried to say the Dodgers are shit.
And now the
Dodgers are scared.
Hey, look, they lunched themselves.
All I'm saying is the Padres are last year's Braves.
They launched themselves into the top tier of Major League Baseball.
When they stay in LA, always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
The Padres can just get in the
but I will say this though, I believe the Dodgers and the Padres are on Sunday Night Baseball next Sunday, and that is definitely something to watch because that's going to be nationally televised.
Ooh, and I hope Juan Soto's going to be playing by then too.
Yes, he will be.
Ooh. I'm excited for that. I really want to see that.
Off today. And they got Mariners up 2-0 over the Yankees. What a way to start off the day. Hey, any event, folks. Hey, hell of a good time in the trade deadline.
It's not early. Thank you.
Hey, hell of a way to have a trade deadline.
Thank you, Jay.
Let's get ready for the second half of the season. I think it's going to be amazing to watch and see what happens. Damon Hernandez says, "What's up, Damon?" Apparently in Chicago, not a whole hell of a lot.
Cubs or White Sox.
White Sox ain't do nothing. They got rid of McGuire, or they got McGuire.
Right.
That's about it.
I'm a bit surprised though that the Mets didn't, go all in for Wilson Contreras. That surprised me a bit.
Because the Cubs were asking for so much for like high up prospects, and the Mets weren't willing to do that.
No, I think they did good. I mean, Contreras, he's 30. He's up for contract. I don't think you want to give up too much for a 30-year-old catcher who's for contract. So I think they did the right thing by holding out. I'm glad Houston didn't pull that trade either. And the fact that now we're with, hopefully, we went with Vasquez. So, yeah, man. I mean, they're going to stay there. They're going to keep playing together. Real quick, now we're going to talk a little bit about Bill Russell. As you know, he passed away a couple of days ago at the age of 88. That's a hell of a long time to live. And as we kind of talked about a little bit on the other shows, he was a lot more than just a generational talent. He was also a civil rights activist. He's also the first African-American coach in the NBA, part of the first all-black starting five. I mean, this guy's a pioneer, just like Jackie was a pioneer a little bit, as well as he did a lot for his community, and obviously 11 championships out of 13 years, Olympic gold medalist. I don't know what more you could honestly ask from Bill Russell. He did lead the first player protest in 1961 in Lexington, Kentucky, when they were denied service at a restaurant. So he did protesting. He's done, everything you could think of to show support for cultural diversity. Bill Russell has been a part of it in some way, shape, or form. Even as much as 2017, the support that he showed for Colin Kaepernick. So he's been really involved from pretty much the beginning of his life all the way close to up to the end of his life. He's been involved with something. The only, like I was saying earlier, man, the only and also what I love about Bill Russell is the fact that he would not accept his Hall of Fame ring until the first African American that was in basketball got put in the Hall of Fame before him. So he really looked out for the people who led the way for him to get his ring. He wanted to make sure that those guys are recognized first, and then he would accept his ring after that. And he exactly held on to that, and he did do that. So again, a man of his word, man of principle, things like that. And that he was part of the Ali, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Well, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and at that time Lou Alcindor and him and MLK were all there to support Ali when he was denying draft into Vietnam. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that from a military standpoint. I think, he should have, I think I don't really agree with that one per se. But outside of that particular episode, I love everything else about Bill Russell and what he has done for the community as a whole. Just an incredible, incredible individual. Gonzo, I'll let you lead it off, and then Dr. Mathis will wrap it up on that subject.
Yeah, the world lost a legend. I mean, there ain't really much more you can say about him. He was like an 11-time champion. He was just a great player. And then outside the playing, like you said, the activist stuff he done as well. I mean, to live to 88, he had a great life, and he'll always be remembered for what the impact that he had on the game and on society as well. So, yeah, just RIP to a legend.
Big Shot Rob.
Yeah, definitely a legend. Bill Russell played for the Boston Celtics. Coming up in that day, Boston was like a very racist town, so and they didn't like black people. So he was able to play during a time when like blacks weren't liked in that area, and he was able to be a good activist and won 11 championships with the Celtics. The guy was just a legend. I mean, I never got to watch him play, so I can't say he's the best of all time. But if you're just basing it on championship rings, like, yeah, he's the best of all time because he has 11 rings. But I just never got to. It's too bad I didn't get to watch the guy play unless I put on YouTube videos and kind of like watch for back then. But yeah, he was just a legend and just more than a basketball player, activist. Guy just helped younger players coming into the NBA. Just helped everyone out. Like Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, any big name you can name in the NBA, he helped them out.
Absolutely. And David Hernandez, you should do your research, brother. Bill Russell does have a statue that was put up there in 2013 in front of Boston City Hall. So there is a statue of Bill Russell in Boston. It's just in front of City Hall.
Yeah. How long did it take him to build that? They didn't build that right away.
Yeah. It's a broad. That's actually good. Yeah. Logan?
Yeah. Like I said, it just sucks. Like I said, 88, lived a great life, was tremendous. I'm with Rob there. I never got to see him play live, obviously, but from just all the discourse, the clips I've seen, I mean, this guy obviously we know the championships, how great of a defender he was. People say he's the best defender ever. And I found a stat the other day that just blew my freaking mind. So
Okay.
it says Bill Russell played in 21 winner-take-all games in his career. That's the NBA, the Olympics, and also the NCAA tournament. His teams went 21-0. So it said in 10 of those games were NBA Game 7s, and in those games he played 488 of the allotted 495 minutes, and he averaged just a pedestrian, right, 29.3 rebounds in those games. So, yeah, if that
Yeah,
doesn't tell
very
you just how
impressive. Yeah.
dominant this man was, I don't know what will. But yeah, rest in peace, man. Just a basketball legend in every sense of the word. Always comes up on the top lists, and it's a shame that we lost him.
That guy was just a winner, man.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
That era
Frankie,
back then is
I'm
different
gonna
than
come
the
back
era
up to you real quick,
now.
since you just came back in.
Yeah, that's
what
true,
did you think
Josh.
about Bill Russell's passing in terms of like how did he impact you in the game and in life?
Yeah, Bill Russell was like, he was literally a basketball icon. It's real sad to see him go. I mean, we all knew it was gonna happen sooner or later. I'm just, I'm glad he passed away peacefully and with his wife at his side, comfortably on his bed. And it's tough to see someone like this go, someone that we've idolized and we've watched. Well, I haven't watched, but I've seen his highlights and stuff from his prime time. But you guys know what I mean. It's real sad to see someone go at such a 88 is still such a young age. Everybody say that the 88 is probably old. I think 88 is still kind of young. We got people out here that's living at past 100. Look at um, Jackie Robinson's wife. She's still alive. She just turned 100 years old. So I feel like 88 is still kind of young for Bill Russell because he was still attending NBA games and still moving around like he was still young. So it's gonna be sad. Bill Russell's not here no more. But then again, he's not suffering anymore, and he's up there in heaven with Kobe, and they're playing basketball again. So it's I'm gonna miss Bill Russell and. The MVP Finals trophy will forever be named after him, and that's for a reason. But I am right now about to leave my daughter's cheerleading camp. Tryouts there are almost finished, so Frankie C will be no more. Hopefully, you guys will be on when I get home because once I get home, Frankie the Yankee's coming out, and I'm coming for blood.
Hey, give that beautiful daughter a hug from us.
I will. I don't know if you guys can see her in the background. It's like so many kids back there. I don't know. Whatever. I'll be back though. I'll be back.
Man. Frankie, Frankie's got to say he's like to the cheerleading squad. He's teaching them how to do the splits. He's really good at the splits.
Jay, stop giving up my secrets, bro. Nobody knows the splits that I can do.
Frankie's running the cheerleading squad, man.
Frankie never got in the splits. He'd never get.
He's running the squad, man. And the football team.
I used to be a Dallas cheerleader girl.
Oh yeah.
Man, that's back when we would let anybody in.
I'll be back, guys.
Hey, Jonathan, man, give me your what? Like I said, this is a tribute to Bill Russell. So, what did Bill Russell mean to you, and how did he affect your life?
Well, unfortunately, as you know, I wasn't alive to see him play. But I have watched, YouTube videos, and I have seen, classic hardwood, NBA classic hardwood, and the guy was an amazing player. I mean, he was simply unparalleled on the basketball court. But I think people who didn't get a chance to see him play, they remember him more for what he did off the court and for what he stood for. And he was clearly the symbol for the NBA. A guy who people really looked up to, one of the most influential players in NBA history. And, his dominance on the court is unmatched in NBA history. But his impact off the floor has been felt for generations to come. And as he continually fought for racial justice in America. And, this guy was a trailblazer who transcended the game of basketball, both nationally and globally. So it's amazing what he did and what he will remain. And that's a civil rights icon, even after his death. Not only a Celtics legend, but the face of the NBA. And he will be deeply missed.
Absolutely. I think like I said, I think there's two players that absolutely affected sports at a very crazy, impactful level. Clearly, Jackie Robinson was number one, and I think Bill Russell's right there at number two. And you could almost say 1A, 1B, because they both had the same adversities that they had to face at the beginning. So, I mean, that's how impactful these guys are. It's not so much, like you said, what they did on the court, but what they did off the court. And I want to tip my hat to Red Auerbach because he really was a great coach, and I think him and Bill just complemented each other so well. Obviously, they had a close relationship. They were both very complex individuals, and Auerbach's daughter actually reached out to Bill Russell's daughter and offered her condolences. But again, just an amazing pairing between two great men. And again, don't forget, Bill Russell was a coach as well. So, I mean, the man literally has done everything you can think of in basketball and as well as off the court. And he's going to be deeply missed. And I love the fact that they named a trophy after him. I think it's fitting to keep his legacy alive to have that trophy after him, amongst other things, like the statue in front of City Hall. So, what a time to be alive, man. And I hope the world, as we get older and generations come after us, does not forget what the likes of a Jackie Robinson and Bill Russell have meant to their communities. All right, folks. We'll move on to the next one. Let's see what we got here. Jacob DeGrom returns. And again, if you don't know, tonight is the night he makes his debut back from injury against the Washington Nationals. And I think tonight is going to be very pivotal because how he comes out and how he performs in his debut is going to be an indicator for what these Mets are going to have in their rotation, given the likes of a Scherzer than a DeGrom. I mean, these guys could be really formidable, and I think that could be the difference maker for the Mets. I mean, they still got a little bit more, but man, having DeGrom back is crazy. He's a two-time Cy Young. The last time he pitched was July 7th of last year. And again, the interesting thing about him is he has an opt-out clause that he plans to use at the end of this year. So where would DeGrom be pitching next year? Interesting. Gonzo?
No, it's good to see DeGrom's going to be back. This dude was having a career year last year and it looked like one of the best pitchers in the league before he got hurt. And for him to be come back from this injury tonight, I figure he might throw 70 to 75 pitches. I think I heard earlier that his last rehab outing, he threw 65 or 70 pitches. So I figure they probably won't push him over 80 pitches tonight, I would say. But I don't put too much stock into tonight's game, because if he comes out and he gets hit some, hey, it's his first game back in over a year. But so I think it'll take a few weeks to see how he's going to be pitching this season. But it is exciting for the Mets because if he can get close, just get close to that level he was last season, that's really going to give the Mets a big push here in the second half of the season, heading into the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely. And by the way, Santa Arroyo Sanchez, you cannot compare D Rose to Bill Russell. Number one, play completely different positions.
Did he mean Russell Westbrook? I think I would hope.
Yeah, I think he meant.
He said Prime Russ.
Well, okay.
Prime Russ.
Yeah. No, you can't compare those two.
I don't know. Do you mean Westbrook or do you mean Bill Russell? I'm assuming we were talking about Bill Russell. You were talking about Bill Russell, but
I think he means Westbrook.
I think he means Westbrook. At least I hope he means Westbrook. But anyway,
bro, that was just a random. We're not even talking about any of those players.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
Thanks for the question.
no, I was getting ready to get yelled at or something. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Excuse me, Big Shot Rob, man. What you think about DeGrom coming back?
Well, I think tonight he's going to have an easy outing with a Soto-less Nationals lineup and also a Bell-less Nationals lineup. So I say he throws maybe between 7 to 8 innings. I don't think he's going to go over 100 pitches tonight. He might be anywhere maybe from the 70 to 80 range, or I don't think he's going to get too close to 90. The Nationals don't really have much of a lineup now that Juan Soto's gone, and obviously Bell. So you should pretty much have an easy outing tonight. The Mets should win. The Mets have been like on fire lately. And yeah, they should just. It'll be easy win for them tonight against the Nationals. So yeah, hopefully he looks better the rest of the year, and him and Max Scherzer can be dominant heading into the playoffs.
Absolutely, Logan.
I mean, if these first 2 innings are an indicator, he's going to be fine. So far, 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, 4 strikeouts. So, look like he's pretty healthy so far. But like you mentioned, I mean, this is a depleted, just depressed Washington team with nothing to fight for anymore. So, I mean, he should be carving these guys up like Thanksgiving dinner, and he rightfully is. But, I mean, hey, it's a division rival. It sucks to see him back, but I'm also happy to see him back because he's a very talented pitcher. He's getting up there in age, too. I think he's about, 34? So he is getting a little bit older. I didn't realize he was that old. But he has been in the league for quite some time. And like you mentioned, too, Jay, he is going to be a free agent. He probably will opt out of his contract and go elsewhere unless the Mets can pay him. So the Mets are kind of pushing all their chips in and hoping they can get a good run out of it. And as long as DeGrom can keep up what he's done in these first 2 innings, man, they'll keep doing the way they've done the whole season, look really good.
Jonathan, I got a different question for you, man. So I think we kind of already heard that he's kind of off to a pretty good start right now tonight.
Right.
But I'm kind of more curious about the fact that he is going to opt out at the end of this year. Where do you think he goes?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think that's a hard question to answer right now. I think a number of teams will be looking for an arm like Jacob deGrom. I know he's dealt with health issues over the years and injuries, but I mean, he's still a damn good pitcher. We're seeing his fastball is popping at and near triple digits. I mean, this guy is throwing strikeouts, and he has a crisp fastball. He looks solid out there today. This is his return. I think he would have a massive market, and I think there will be a number of teams looking for him. Maybe the Dodgers. I don't know. Maybe.
Don't you put that juju out there, Jonathan? Come on, they've already gotten enough.
Maybe the Dodgers is a team. Maybe
I can tell you one team he's not. I can tell you one team he's not going to.
I wonder if that would be.
Maybe the Cardinals might be in the mix. There could be several teams in for him, and I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if every major league team wants the guy, because I mean, he would be a hot commodity.
Yeah, because everybody knows that when DeGrom is healthy, and in his groove, I mean, the guy is just unstoppable. Really, he's unstoppable. So, wherever he winds up going, number one, is going to get paid, and number two, it's going to be a playoff team. I don't think he's going to necessarily go to a non-playoff team. So that kind of leads to me to wonder again. The Braves need some pitching. The Yankees, they're a team that's got a big payroll. Will they give up? Padres. I mean, there's a lot of places you could think about that he can make a difference on, or make especially God with the Padres. I mean, it'd be. I think for the Dodgers, I think it would be over. To be honest with you, but I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out at the end of this year, and I'm kind of curious to see where exactly the Mets go from here, because now that he's healthy, or hopefully healthy, and he's behind Scherzer, I mean, that's a hell of a 1-2 punch to come right out the series. I mean, that could be half the series right there, and then the other two just got to do their job. So, or even I mean, they could definitely go into a 4-game series with these two guys and what they have. So, it's gonna be hard, man. The Mets are gonna be up there now. All right, we're gonna push it on, and we're gonna go on to Juan Soto. Obviously, he got traded to the Padres. Here's my thing, and again, I said this earlier, Jonathan brought it up, and I'm going to bring it one more time. I know Juan Soto's got the name and the flair and all that, but he's only hitting 257. And then I look at Josh Bell at 301, and I'm thinking Josh is contributing more to the team than what Juan is. And then you look at those 4 bats. If Soto is able to, come back and really bolster up that batting average and that on base percentage, I mean, the Juan Soto, the Josh Bell, the Tatis, the Machado. I mean, those 4 big players are going to be phenomenal. What do you think, Gonzo?
Question: Where in the order did Josh Bell bat? Did he bat like right after Soto?
I would think so. I'm not too sure.
I'll have that answer for you.
But
Okay, well, the reason I'm asking because that could be a reason why he's hitting a better average than Soto. Because if he's batting after Soto, teams that walk Soto are going to have to throw him better pitches than what they are.
True. Yep.
That could be a reason, but no, I think Padres got a steal. Well, I'm not gonna say a steal because they gave up a lot for him, but I think they got a player that's really going to fit in with the nucleus they have with Tatis Jr. I still think people are forgetting about Profar. He's really broke out this season as well. So I think it was a great move by the Padres, even especially being able to get Hader as well. Like I said, I think the Padres really got a lot better over the last couple of days.
Yeah, absolutely. Big shot, Rob.
Yeah, I would say the same. That lineup, when you have Machado, Tatis, Soto, and Bell, is going to do monster things in that lineup. Almost equal to like what the Yankees might do with their lineup, maybe. Who knows? And obviously you got the pitcher, Hader. Like, it's just if those guys can just stay healthy, I think they'll be just fine. But obviously they're behind the Dodgers right now. We'll see if they can push them to the edge. I think if they get in the playoffs, they can make some real noise in the playoffs. I'm not saying they're going to win the NL West, but if they can just get into the playoffs somehow, they're going to be a tough team to beat in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to clarify for you guys, though, Soto bat third and Bell was in the cleanup.
Okay. Yeah.
Logan.
yeah, I mean, obviously the biggest move of the trade deadline in quite some time. And also, too, another thing, too, Jay, you brought up the batting average is a little bit lower than usual. And it is, but you got to look at what's going on around him. Like Chris said, Bell batted behind him. And Soto is currently leading the league in walks right now with 91, which is almost 30 more than the next guy in second. Right. So that's why his average isn't going up much because he gets walked every other bat, it seems. He's also top 10 in on base plus slugging, and I think top 5 in on base percentage. So even though the numbers aren't there, like I say, he's got 20 home runs, 46 RBIs, not too shabby, but he's been on a crappy team. Let's not forget that. And I think just a change of scenery. I mean, we all know how good this guy is. He's got a great future ahead of him. He's only 23, been in the league for 5 years already, so he knows what he's doing. And he's in constant MVP consideration at such a young age. So, like I say, even though the average is down, the numbers are a little bit down across the board. I think that as long as the on-base percentage, the walks keep going up, he doesn't strike out a lot either. As long as that keeps looking the way it is, I think that they'll be fine. And also you add in, of course, the big acquisitions they got with getting Hader, and then also getting him in that offense with Machado and with Tatis who's coming back. I mean, it's going to look real good. And I think, like you said, that of course San Diego had to give up a lot of their prospects for him. But I mean, if they're going to pay this guy long term, I think that in the end, as long as the Padres can make a good run with it, hopefully for the fans, they can get a championship out of it. I think it'll be all worth it, So
and also, real quick, Jay, another thing that's going to help Soto with going to the Padres is being on that better team now. He's going to see better pitches to hit.
Yeah,
because they're not going to be able to pitch around them.
Yeah, I mean, you got 4 bats. I mean, they're going to have to pitch to somebody.
Oh yeah, I'm going to say you got to pick your poison. Honestly. Damon said, do you think the Padres can be good? I mean, let's be real. They got Machado, who is good, and they didn't do anything since he got there. If Tatis didn't get hurt last year, they probably would have been a playoff team. Yeah. I mean,
sometimes when players come to teams, you get a Juan Soto, Josh Bell, they come to
that's what you need.
It really improves other players' batting average, other players' conditioning. So
being around good players helps the other guys. So I think that is just going to be kind of a ripple effect.
Right. Yeah, I think the momentum that those two guys could bring to a team, like you said, can really turn those batting averages around for them. So let's wait and see what happens in this experiment. But I think it's definitely a good spot and definitely a momentum changer in the Padres. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Friars can do.
Hey guys, isn't it much easier on the ears since Jay got his cord to his microphone back?
Oh, it's so much better. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree, man. Listen, and if I can keep this damn cord from the cats, we'll be good to go.
Or tuck that thing away every night.
Man, hey, listen, I plan on it. Trust me.
Take that damn cord to bed with you. Shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, put it in your pillowcase.
A lot of things to bed with me, but okay. Jonathan, man, hey,
Yeah.
Soto. I know you're a Dodgers guy, so I know you kind of already, like you said earlier, kind of dreading this. But what's your realistic expectation for these Padres?
Well, I called it. Remember, I said that the Padres would land Juan Soto. I just thought this was the most suitable spot for him, given the fact that the Padres had the top prospects to make this happen. But, his numbers are down across the board. I mean, this happens to all great players. Great players go through slumps, but this guy gets on base. This guy finds a way to get on base. And now in San Diego, because he's playing, with Manny Machado now. Manny Machado is in that lineup. You got other bats in that lineup. Now teams won't be able to pitch around him, and he would, like Chris said, he would get, better pitches coming his way, and he could, connect on those pitches and drive the ball deep. We know what this guy is capable of doing. We've seen him play. He's, a generational hitter. We talk about how rare of a breed he is as a player. He's often compared to Ted Williams because of his patience and his plate discipline. And this guy, he doesn't strike out a lot. He either connects or he gets on base by being issued a walk. So, I mean, Juan Soto will be fine. He's on a new team now. He gets a change of scenery. He'll probably be more motivated to show up to the ballpark now because he's back in contention now that he's on a team that actually has a chance to contend. So Juan Soto will be just fine. I like this for him. I like this for Josh Bell. I think they like this destination. They know they have a chance to win. They're surrounded by a bunch of great players. And, I think his teammates now would gravitate to him, knowing the type of player that he is. He's 23 years old. And I think as aggressive as AJ Pillar is, the general manager, I think there's a possibility that Juan Soto might get a long-term deal in San Diego. I mean, I know there's a lot of money being thrown around. I know they might, have to, clear some salary to, get some space, but I don't see how you could let this guy go. And AJ is going all in. We seen he's going all in. He wants to win. He's in win now mode after making all these moves. That is just no other way to see it. So Juan Soto will be just fine. He's on a new team now, and I think the Padres are a team to be reckoned with.
And the Padres have been in win now mode for a while. It just hasn't panned out for them. I mean, they were in win now mode when they brought in Machado. They were in win mode when they brought in Blake Snell and so forth. So it's not like the Dodgers haven't been trying to get there. It's just, now I think they really have all the pieces, the closer, the starting pitching, now you've got 4 really amazing bats on offense that drive in runs. I mean, they really are starting to round into a form. Now, of course, it looks good on paper, and that's what we're talking about. Now it has to transcend on the field, and that's what we're going to see, hopefully, the next month, what this Padres team is going to look like. So it's going to be interesting. All right, folks, we're going to run into the next one here. Let's talk about some Deebo Samuel's 3-year, $71.6 million contract extension. As you all know, Deebo was talking about leaving. He also talked about not wanting to be the Wildcat running back, wide receiver, quarterback, offensive line, and every other position that they wanted him to try to do. So he really wanted to basically be more of a focused, polished wide receiver. And now it looks like he went ahead and signed with that contract, which I don't blame him. It's a lot of money. But you got to admit, Trey Lance is going to be the quarterback. Jimmy G's, since he clears protocols, is probably going to be off to somewhere else or outright release, whatever they can get. So you got to imagine, if Trey Lance starts to falter, they're going to start to go back again and rely heavily on Debo to do all these different things that he doesn't necessarily want to do, for one. And then number two, he's still a human being. He's mortal. How can he stay healthy? How can you put your body through probably 70% of the offensive plays and expect to stay healthy over the long haul? Will he become the next Christian McCaffrey where, he's constantly hurt because his body's breaking down because he's being overused? That's kind of my question for you guys. When you look at what he does on the field, it's just outstanding, right? He does 18 yards per catch, 6.2 yards per carry. It's just stupid. 3 seasons, he's got 167 catches for right at about 2,600 yards and 10 touchdowns, 550 on the ground with 11 touchdowns. It just kind of shows you, in 3 years, how much they use this guy. He got $58 million of that guaranteed. I don't know, man. I kind of worry about his health. That's my main thing for Debo. Gonzo?
Yeah, I think they're going to use him the same way they were using him last season. And from what I've read, I think he knows that. Honestly, I don't think he had a problem with how they used him. I just think that was more of him trying to create some kind of leverage to get more money because he felt like he was worth getting paid more than just being a wide receiver. And I understand that. So I think that was more of him trying to use some leverage to get some more money. But he's going to have to do what he did last year because we don't know. I don't even know if the 49ers know for sure what they have in Trey Lance. So, so it's going to be interesting to see what his development is. But I think Debo will have a decent year. We'll have another good year like he's been having. But I don't think you're going to see a change in the way they use him. I still think they're going to use him as a running back a lot like they still did last year. Because and they might get in a situation where they have to even a little bit more if they struggle to throw the ball down the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Big shot, Rob?
Yeah, I think Debo's going to be used pretty much the same way he was used last year. Because we really don't know what we're going to see in Trey Lance. Trey Lance, is he the guy for the 49ers' future? So if they can't get Jimmy Garoppolo traded to like another team, I would just stick with Jimmy for now and keep having Trey learn from him. And then, when the time's right where Trey is ready to take over as the quarterback, then you get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. Because you really don't know what you have in Trey. Is he the quarterback? They drafted this guy high. I'm not sure if he's the quarterback or not. It's possible he might be, he might not be. But if you put too much pressure on Deebo Samuel, there's definitely a chance he gets hurt. He just signed this big contract. He was demanding a trade earlier in the offseason. Now he signs this big contract. So I guess he's hoping that Trey Lance could be the guy, the future quarterback for that team, or if they stick with Jimmy a little bit longer before they make Trey Lance the official starter. So it's going to be definitely interesting to see what happens. I've heard trade talks with San Fran and Seattle, but that's pretty much it as far as Garoppolo going to Seattle. Obviously Seattle obviously has Drew Lock already and Geno Smith, so I don't know how interested they are in getting Jimmy G. If I were them, I would try to trade Jimmy G to another team in the conference or possibly out of the conference. I wouldn't want to play them in the division. So, yeah, we'll see definitely what happens with that,
Absolutely. Logan, Debo?
Congrats to Debo. Finally got his big payday. Well-deserved. An electric player, one of the most dynamic players in the league in terms of just on the line of scrimmage, whether it's as used as a receiver or a running back. He's earned every penny of that contract and maybe then some. But like we've all kind of been talking about, the 49ers are taking, and also Debo, they're taking a big gamble with the rumors swirling, the talks of Jimmy Garoppolo being traded, which is insane considering the preseason is about to start here this week, at the end of the week. So, also Jimmy helped get this team to the NFC Championship last year, along with Debo. and they're going to trade him for. I mean, hoping that their top 3 pick, who they traded up to get in Trey Lance, can get them back to that same place or even further. That's a big gamble, but I guess that Debo's fine with whatever they're going to do. And I mean, like Rob said, who really needs a quarterback right now besides Seattle? Honestly, I mean, there's not that many places, and I know Jimmy does not want to go to a bad team, but it's just kind of gonna have to work out that way. It looks like, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm glad Debo got his money; he earned it. But I don't know how it's gonna pay off so far, man. Just because there's so much talk about this 49ers team, really much the whole off season, and it's not going to stop. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think if off the record, I think if Miami was smart, they go grab up Jimmy G, he put his protocols, throw him behind Tua, and in case Tua doesn't work out or in case Tua gets injured, then you got a really reasonable backup that can step into a starting role and come in behind him and save the day. That's what I would do. Jonathan,
Debo, man, he did some heavy lifting for the 49ers last season. And, he was everything for this team. And I always say that. I say that constantly, how much he meant to the 49ers organization. And that's why they were able to make such a deep run last season, because of the breakout year that Debo Samuel had. He made a name for himself. He established himself as a top tier player on that team. And, he emerged into, one of the most dangerous offensive weapons in all of football, so the contract is well-deserved. He earned his money. And I think, he wasn't unhappy about how he was being used in the offense. I think he doesn't mind, carrying the heavy weight on his shoulders. I think he's up for the challenge. I think he doesn't mind taking on that heavy task. I think what it was is that he was just unhappy with the fact that he hadn't been given a contract. And I think this was, like Chris said, his way to create a leverage so he can get that big bag of money and he can get financial security, in which he did. So now both parties are satisfied. I know he had a close relationship with Kyle Shanahan. And Kyle Shanahan, we all know how creative he likes to get with his offense. This is perfect for his offense because he understands, what's expected of him. He knows how to scheme for Debo, and Debo's going to do everything. He's gonna be the running back. He's going to be the wide receiver. He's going to be the special teams guy. Hell, he might even, be the quarterback for all we know, because we know how Jimmy G can be. There's times in the games where he makes critical mistakes. He throws an interception here or there, excuse me. But Debo is, that guy. And so he finally got paid, and, the 49ers got him locked up.
Yeah, I think for the 49ers, I'm really I'm not worried about that. I hate the 49ers. I mean, they're the arch nemesis to the Cowboys back in them days. But, man, Trey Lance, I don't know, man. I think I'm more curious. I think out of everybody in sports, Trey Lance is how well he comes out and plays in the preseason, how well he comes out and plays in the regular season. I think all eyes are on him to see if this dude can actually carry the load or the job. So we'll have to wait and see. But, man, what a time to be alive for football. Watson suspended for 6 games. Again, we kind of talked about this earlier. I personally think, I don't know if a whole season, but I definitely think 12 games. 12 games, in my opinion, is where it should have been. And that's just based on, the other suspensions that have occurred, right? So, like I said, you got Ridley and Betting at 17 games. You got Burfict at 12 games for targeting. Hopkins, 6 games for performance-enhancing drugs. Martavius Bryant, indefinitely for weed. Josh Gordon, 25-plus games for weed. Darren Waller, 16 games for substance abuse. And then, of course, you got Watson at 6 games for 25 sexual accusations. In my opinion, I think out of all these guys, the weed, whatever, substance abuse, okay, I kind of look at it because, he wasn't convicted of it. So if it's a non-conviction, then I don't put him in the terms of weed and things like that. I kind of put him more at targeting, because targeting is not a felony conviction or anything like that. So so they're getting him on conduct policy. So I would probably put him right at the 12 games for targeting that Burfict got. I think that's kind of where he should be. Now the judge kind of went the route of 6 games because that's what Roethlisberger got. But again, times are different. I think we have to keep a standard. And I don't know, man. I mean, it's all over the place. But I think 12 games, in my opinion, even though I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, I think 12 games is probably realistically, compared to what everybody else got, I think it's more fitting. Gonzo?
I don't have a problem with the 6 games. I was fine with 4 games. I thought maybe either 4 or 6, but I mean, he wasn't convicted of anything. And yeah, you could say that, like, them other people for weed, they got longer, for this they got longer, which they did, but also with the substance abuse, some of that stuff's in that policy, so they have that guideline. On this thing about your code of conduct, they really don't have that. And what that judge, from what I read in the report, she basically went with what the precedent the NFL had set for domestic violence in the other cases where they hadn't got convicted, and they gave out 6 games. The NFL was they were pushing for a year, and I think it's going to be interesting to see if the NFL is going to appeal. I don't think they will, because what happens is if Watson appeals or the NFL appeals, it just goes to Roger Goodell's desk and he makes the decision. So if the NFL appeals, they basically just contradicting themselves, because they said they wanted to take the power away from where it wasn't Roger Goodell making the sole decisions anymore. Well, if you appeal this and have him make the decision the first time you use this judge, you're just basically contradicting yourself. So I don't think there will be an appeal. I think they'll go out to 6 games, and then we'll see Deshaun Watson come in and play then.
Yeah, and this is just me, man. And I'm not out to witch hunt Deshaun Watson by any means, but I am a common sense kind of person. And 25 women is a lot of damn women. And and I think he got off on a lot of things because of the amount of time that those women waited before actually pursuing something on him. So whatever evidence even may have been out there, it wasn't obviously admissible because it had been so much damn time in between. But 25 women is a lot. Now, look, I'm not calling a spade, but sometimes if you get 25 women, at least 1 or 2 of those women are probably accurate. I don't know. I think, again, hey, look, Roethlisberger got 6 games. And he did it for sure. And I just feel like the NFL still has to set a precedent for what's right and what's wrong. I don't know, man. The kind of policy, there's a lot of gray areas there. And I get what you're saying, Gonzo. I understand what you're saying. So I get that too. Frankie the Yankee, man, he gets 6 games, man. How are you feeling about it?
First of all, what the fuck is going on right now? My team is down 4-0. I'm pissing me the fuck off. Yes, that is right. I'm back. The true me. My gimmick is here. And then also, I just went to the gas station, guys, and they got Frankie Montas on the back of the New York Post with the name Frankie the Yankee. How disrespectful is that? This copyright
That's it.
name.
Cut 'em.
I'm suing.
Send him to
suing
AAA.
Post. This is ridiculous.
For that name, you should have gone down there and filed for that. You should have got a patent on Frankie the Yankee.
I've had that name since like 2015. I've been riding with that name, and then all of a sudden Frankie Montas comes out of the way and he takes my name. What type of shit is that? But man, I'm pissed off right now. We're down 4-0. It's still early, 3rd inning. Hopefully, we get something going on right now. DJ LeMay, he just got a double, and Aaron Judge is coming up. So Mickey Delaney, all rise, please. But Watson suspended for 6 games. It makes perfect sense. I mean, people suggested that Deshaun Watson should be suspended longer, maybe the full season. But then again, I've been riding with pride on this topic for about a week now. And last week we said, or actually no, it was I think it was last week where we said that Deshaun Watson, I understand what he's going through and stuff, but we still have yet to see any evidence on what Deshaun Watson has truly done. So I mean, the 6-game suspension, I understand. At first, I said 4 games would be good, 6 games, but we're gonna see something either way. I'm glad.
I think we lost Frankie.
Games is 6 games.
Yeah.
6 games
Yeah,
is 6
man.
games. 6 games is 6 games, Jay, and I think
Yeah.
that if it comes down to Jacoby Brissett, if he could do what he got to do for the Cleveland Browns, so that maybe go 3-3 and bring back Deshaun Watson to a 500 when he comes back, and they can do something then. But I've said that with Jacoby Brissett starting, they're probably gonna go 2-4, and if they do, it's gonna be a little tough for Deshaun Watson.
No, absolutely. Big shot, Rob, man. 6 games. Yay or nay?
I think it's about right. I mean, it is what it is. This whole thing is going on for too long. I've been sick and tired of hearing about it. I just want to see football back again and playing. But definitely, I agree with what Frankie said. If Jacoby Brissett can hold the fort until Watson comes back, I think this Browns team could be definitely a potential playoff team. But that division is very competitive. I mean, you got the defending AFC champion, you got the Bengals, you got the Ravens. You can never count out the Steelers. So it's
I
going to
mean,
be an interesting
Rob,
division.
can I ask you something though? Do you really think that division is really tough? I mean, Ben Roethlisberger not with the Pittsburgh Steelers anymore, and then everybody says Lamar Jackson this, Lamar Jackson that, but he has nobody to throw it to. They got rid of
It's
Hollywood
going to
Brown.
come down to Bengals and Browns.
Yeah, no.
It's going to come down to Bengals and Browns. I'm telling you.
That's definitely a possibility. Definitely. I mean, I only count out the Bengals only because what they did last year. But I mean,
Right,
usually
that's definitely the Bengals
yeah,
time.
yeah. The Super Bowl champion that usually loses. I mean, the team that usually loses in the Super Bowl will never get back the next season. They won't even make the playoffs or won't even get back to the playoffs because they have the Super Bowl hangover. So yeah, we'll see.
Falcons still got that hangover, bro. Falcons are still hanging on.
You know about that, man.
Damn, stop talking on Logan. Hey,
They
speaking
got
of
the
Logan,
yearly hangover, world hangover. Yeah.
What up?
hey Logan, Deshaun Watson, 6 games, man. What are we thinking?
I mean, you knew a suspension was coming at one point. I don't think anyone believed or anyone knew in their heart that he would get off scot-free with no game suspended. And also, too, this is also the first time they are using an outside source to help suspend somebody. So they had to start that off strong, right? And like we kind of touched on, the main thing that didn't get him suspended for more games for, like Damian said, 2 years or even a whole season or more, just 10 plus games, is just the lack of evidence. And that's what the judge said is, yes, you did have the 24, 25 women come out with these claims, but they did not find enough evidence for a longer suspension for all of this. And with it being a new system in terms of discipline and how it's carried out, I mean, a lot of people obviously are bashing the decision. Some thought that it's too harsh, sometimes too light. I mean, there's not going to be a right answer with this, right? But I mean, we'll see. I'm curious to see now how many more cases are going to go to this kind of new judge appointed role, because I mean, no other sports like just commissioners kind of does this. I mean, you mentioned you got the point. You can, the NFL can go in there and change it if they want to, but if that was the case, why wouldn't they just go for it at the beginning? Why pass it off?
What is the necessary? Well, you know what it is, and I said this to Gonzo in the morning show. I think Roger Goodell didn't want the blood and the heat of it, so I think he gave it to the court system, thinking that they're gonna 25 cases, they're gonna get this guy at least 12 games here, whatever. And I think they didn't come back the way Roger Goodell thought it was gonna go. Honestly.
Right. And I really don't think the NFL goes after any further. I think they just say, hey, it is what it is. We'll live with it, and finally kind of move on from it all. But yeah, looks like we finally got some closure, at least for now. We'll see if it gets appealed or whatnot in the next few days. I think they have till Sunday Saturday or
3
Sunday
days.
to
You got 3 days
Yeah.
from the ruling to appeal.
Yeah, so that was so Friday, I think.
Yeah, I think it's Friday. I think Friday is the deadline.
So they got a few more days left to figure it all out, but personally I don't think the NFL goes after. I think they just kind of stay the course here. Don't go after any further, and just kind of let it ride. So, I mean, 6 games. We'll see what Brissett can do. I don't think they'll be great. I don't think they'll be terrible. Maybe a 500 start. That's about the best you can ask for, I think, in that situation with your high paid quarterback, your star quarterback. He's not going to be there for a good bit of games, so you just got to hope that Nick Chubbs and everyone else, the defense can step up, and that Jacoby can fill in for those games while he's away.
Yeah, and as it stands, before Johnson goes, as it stands, he's due to be back. Actually, his first game would be, I believe, October 23rd against the Baltimore Ravens, which is interesting because that was the former Browns team. It's just how those circles stay close, tight. Jonathan, Sean Watson, what do you think?
Man, I felt the suspension was too lenient. I know not everyone agrees with me on that, but I felt it was too lenient. I felt it was too light of a punishment. 20 plus women is just too many women, and it's hard for me to believe that all of them could possibly be lying. But this is the NFL, and if Deshaun Watson does come back, which he will be back in week 6, and he performs really well, we're going to forget about all of this. We really are going to forget about all of this, and it's gonna suck for the victims involved. But hey, winning cures everything, and if you produce at such a high level, all of this will be swept under the rug, and we'll forget about it. But as for the Browns, they have the easiest schedule up until week 6. So their schedule doesn't really get tough until week 6. So I think they could go 4-2 early in the season and still
give them 5-1, and the one loss being the Chargers.
And they very well could with the schedule they have. So I don't think they're going to miss Deshaun Watson that much to begin the season. I think it'll be more crucial when week 6 comes. That's when they're going to really, really have to ride on his success.
Hold on.
But they have a pretty strong running game, with Nick Chubb and hopefully Jacoby Brissett, if I'm saying his name correctly, he can do enough, to hold it down.
Right.
Hold on, Jay. You said that they can go 5-1 and the only loss will be the Chargers.
Yeah, they're gonna beat your Patriots. I know you don't like to hear that.
You're bugging. You're crazy. You're crazy.
They're gonna beat your Patriots.
You're crazy.
They're gonna beat your
They're
Patriots.
not beating the Patriots. They're not beating the Patriots. No, they're not. Oh, just like how they did last year. Just like how they did last year.
Jacoby's got the inside intel.
Hold on.
Jadeveon Clowney and Gilbert on the other side is gonna crush Mac Jones.
You're crazy. You were saying the same thing, and you were saying the same thing last year. You were saying the same thing last year, Jay. You said that same shit last year.
Was that when the Patriots beat? When the
what
Bucs
happened?
beat you? Or when the Dallas Cowboys beat you? Which one are we talking about?
We smoked them. Smoked them, Jay. We smoked them. I don't know what you mean. And a rookie quarterback took your team into overtime. So what are you talking about?
He's so bad. Frankie's so bad. Frankie, listen. When they look, I know you love your Patriots, man. I get it, bro. I'm telling you, they're gonna spank you. They're gonna spank you.
They are not beating the Patriots. They couldn't even beat the Patriots last year with Baker Mayfield. How are they going to beat the Patriots this year with Jacoby Brissett, who never beat the Patriots when he left the Patriots?
So they upgraded their offensive line. When they brought in Lyle Collins and I forget the other guy, but they brought in 2 offensive lines. So they upgraded their offensive line, and they brought in Amari Cooper. Who will take some of the pressure off of the other receivers. And they got Njoku at the tight end, and they got probably formidably the best running game on that side of the ball. So what are we talking about?
And they got worse at quarterback.
Yeah, but I think Brissett can hold. He don't have to be great.
Exactly. Exactly. And then you
can do it.
Yo, I can't wait for this game.
And then you mentioned Njoku. You mentioned Njoku. He wasn't even on the starting lineup last year. He's not even on the starting lineup this year. So Njoku.
I think he is on the starting lineup. I thought he was on the starting lineup.
No, he's not. Austin Cooper's on the
But
starting
I
lineup,
still
brother.
stand behind the Browns against the Patriots. I do. Okay.
We'll
You'll
see
get
week
over
6
it.
when I come to your face.
Hey, yo.
If I ever see you, I'll punch you in the face. That's what I said on the morning show. I'll punch you in the face.
Hey, Jay, put that comment up by Dame before we move on.
Hey,
That
hold on.
last
Hey,
one.
but the last one? I thought I got. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, there you go. Then how is this suspension going to give other players a teach? Like you said, it ain't the NFL who's doing this. They didn't hand iron the sentence. Hell, if it was Goodell, he probably would have gave him 3 games. We know what he's done in the past.
Hey, I said this on the morning show, and I'm going to say it here. If anybody asks you who the best pitcher in Major League Baseball is from conception until present day, and if anything comes out of their mouth other than Nolan freaking Ryan, you punch
Where
him.
did this come from?
I'm just saying. Punch him in the
Where did
face.
this come from?
I'm just telling you, if anybody says anybody's better than Nolan Ryan, you just punch him in the face. Okay.
Yeah, you tell him, Jay.
Punch him in the face. Like when Nolan Ryan hit Ventura on the pitcher mound, beating the crap out of him. Yeah, punch him in the face. What are you talking about, Ryan? Oh, no. Last topic, Brittany Griner update. So currently, Ms. Griner is in the today was the closing arguments phase of her trial. So, like I was telling them on the afternoon show, Brittany Griner's gonna get convicted. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you why it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen because Russia has to convict her in order to make her a prisoner, in order to do the prisoner swap with Biden. If they release her, then it gives up all the power that Russia had on her. So you know automatically she's set up for conviction. It's just gonna happen that way, you know. But again, conviction for her doesn't really mean a whole lot because what I believe is going to happen, well, I think it should happen. No, but what I believe is going to happen is that they're going to make that prisoner swap, and she's going to go free along with Whalen. But like I was telling Gonzo earlier, what a lot of people don't realize is Mark Vogel, who's a teacher in Russia, also in prison for 14 years. He was sentenced to 14 years for having pot. He had a little bit of pot on his person. And they gave him a 14-year conviction, but yet we're not talking about Mark Vogel. We're talking about Brittany Griner, but we're not talking about Mark Vogel. So again, you know, and Vogel appealed to Biden. He said, "Hey, Biden, you got Griner, you're going to release her. Hey, he's basically, hey, can you throw me in on the deal with Whalen?" So we got to wait to see if that gets thrown in as part of the prisoner swap. But as of right now, that's currently where we stand with her. She should be finished or finishing up her closing arguments. But I do expect her to get convicted. And I do expect, unless something crazy happens, I expect her to get released. And the crazy thing about it is she'll come home. But we just killed the number 2 Al-Qaeda in Zawahiri. We just killed him yesterday. So we eradicated another terrorist out of our organization, but yet we're going to release a guy who supports terrorism. Let that sink in for a minute. Gonzo, your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, they're going to find her. They're going to find her guilty.
What's that?
I'll get you more. Hold on.
Now, what were you saying, Gonzo?
Oh, I thought he was saying something. With Brittany Griner, I know they're going to find her guilty, like you said, because they want to do that swap. Plus, I was reading they have an almost a 98-99% conviction rate on their court system there as well. My thing is, if we're going to fight to bring one American home, let's try to get all of them home. And hopefully they'll be able to do that. I don't think it's ever a good thing to set a precedent that we're going to start trading prisoners for prisoners, because then they're just going to start, people that go to Russia are going to start getting taken just so they can try to use them to get people back. So I think that's a careful line you got to make sure you don't cross too far. But hopefully they can make a deal where they get all the Americans back and they can get home and at least maybe even if they have to do their sentence here, at least get them if they can get back here in the country.
All right, just to kind of piggyback off of what Gonzo's talking about in terms of more Americans getting abducted and used for prisoner swaps. Again, this is not the first prisoner swap that the Americans have done. There was actually April 17th of 22, which is this year, a few months ago. They also did, I believe his name is Trevor Reed. He's a Marine. That they did a prisoner swap for him as well with Russia. So this actually is the second prisoner swap within 3 months that we're talking about. Griner was not the first one. Reed was the first one. Griner was the second one. And this is only a few months. So you can only imagine going forward what that precedent for other Americans to be swapped back and forth. So again, like God was saying, it's a deadly game in which we're playing right now. Frankie the Yankee. The original
I don't give a shit,
Frankie.
Jay, I don't give a shit.
That's cool. All right.
Nah, real talk. I'm just like I'm tired of talking about Brittany Griner. Like it's insane. I mean,
Yeah.
like Chris said, we're trading people. It's just gonna come down to where Russia's gonna be like, let's grab these U.S. citizens and say what we gotta say, and hopefully we can get back people that the U.S. is holding from us. It's all ridiculous. I got nothing to say about Brittany Griner. She's becoming the face of everything now because of this situation, and it's just getting ridiculous to me at this point. I just wish the Yankees can freaking come back right now.
Man, I feel you, brother. I feel you on that Yankees thing. Absolutely. Big shot, and on the Brittany Griner as well. I want to discount that aspect of your conversation. I understand exactly where you're coming from on both aspects. But I don't care about the Yankees. I hope they lose. Whatever.
I regret nothing, Jay.
I have to say that, man. We're in competition. Be quiet. Big shot, Rob, man. Brittany Griner, man. What are we thinking, man?
I don't really want to talk about this topic and touch on it because it's too political. But all I can say is that Brittany Griner, I hope and pray for her that she comes back home safely and they're able to work out something with Russia and she'll come back, as soon as possible, and hopefully this doesn't happen to her again. So that's pretty much all I can say.
Right, and I understand that, brother. I do. I understand. It is a lot political. It's sports. It's political. But it's more political. I get it. Big Logan, what do we think about Griner?
Yeah, another chapter in this almost 6-month saga continues. She got arrested, I believe, February 17th, and it's almost, it's just now early August, and it looks like we're finally getting somewhere, right? But it's still a crazy story. Jay, you mentioned the Vogel fellow, right? He got sentenced to 14, 15 years for drug smuggling as well.
14 years.
Ooh, Frank Vogel? Frank Vogel?
No.
No way. He was just my coach.
He said the Lakers were so bad last season.
Mark Vogel.
Yeah. Said Jay. He I just looked it up because I was trying to just kill some time here. During customs checks, he had marijuana and hash oil in his luggage. He also had the drugs, I'm guessing, was marijuana in contact lens cases and in also e-cigarette cartridges. So he was being super sneaky about it. And I think Brittany probably just threw it in her bag or something and think nothing of it. And yeah, it looks like she's going to, obviously with the 98, 99% conviction rate, I don't think that's going to waver. So that way they can do that prisoner swap. But kind of like Chris said, just if she is going to serve time, which it's kind of looking like she will, right? Then at least do it here in the States and not overseas at Russia, because it's just it's a lot better over here than it would be in Russia, I think. So yeah, like I said, we'll see how this continues to unfold through the next weeks, months, and maybe years. Who knows?
Bet you if it was Ukraine, she wouldn't be getting arrested. Just saying.
So, Jonathan, my question is this. Here's my question to you, Jonathan.
Mm-hmm.
There's two kinds of privileges that we know in the U.S. that exist, and neither one of these privileges are good. They're both extremely, extremely, extremely bad. The first one's white privilege.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, look. We're all grown ass people. We know that white privilege exists, and it's not good. It's bad.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also athlete privilege.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so again, and I say that to say this: Brittany is getting all the attention because she's Brittany. She's an athlete. People know her. She's famous. She's got clout, whatever.
Right.
And we're hearing about her, but we don't give a damn to hear about Chris Gonzales.
Go. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go mute.
Because the other people are less important.
About
Because,
Vogel. You know what I'm saying? Who's over there? So again, what is your thought process on all of this?
well, you couldn't have stated it any better. Brittany Griner is a public figure. We all know who she is. Obviously, she's more valuable in Russia because she's a women's NBA player, and here in America, we don't value women athletes the same way other countries do. Which probably explains why she's used as a political pawn, because they know who she is and they know how big of a person she is. They value their athletes a lot different. But to answer your question, Jay, if she was in this country, she would have privilege. Why is that? Because she got caught for weed, marijuana, or whatever it was in her backpack, right? Which is not as severe here in this country. Oh, okay. She would have been probably fined, charged, but
No jail time.
not serving, maybe just, even if it's not just a little jail time. I mean, in Russia, she is basically there as a prisoner. In America, she wouldn't probably be serving any time at all. If what Frankie said, maybe a little, if not that at all.
Sorry, John, if she got arrested in America, this would have been brushed over
right
in 2 weeks.
If this had been America, she would have got $750 misdemeanor. No, it would have been a misdemeanor. I mean, outside of now, if it's a legal state, she would have been fine. But state, I'm gonna use Georgia as an example. If you get caught with marijuana, at least what she had, the small quantity, it's a misdemeanor. It's $750. You pay the fine, and it's off your record, and you keep.
And you move on.
$7.50, like $7.50. That's not even expensive. That's cheap. I'm not gonna.
No, guy, but I like your sarcasm.
You said no, guy. What the hell?
but no, like you said, like in Russia though, it's a whole other scenario.
Has that?
Not Frankie Monte.
You better call me my name. That's my name, damn it, Jay. You know that. You know better. Don't
Plus,
you ever do
when
that.
Plus, when you go to a foreign country, you like Jay has said multiple times, you got to make sure you know the laws, because you don't have that. You don't have the same privileges that we have here.
Chris. That's what blows my mind is she plays over there.
Well, that's what goes back to what you say, Logan. She did mention that when she packed her bags to go to Russia, she did not must have forgotten that. Oh my God! It's high. It's far. It is gone. I'm sorry. The Yankees are down by 1 right now. We just hit a 2-run home run. Jose Trevino. Okay, but yeah, like you were saying, I mean, like she was quickly packing her bags, and she said herself that she forgot she left the hash oil in her bag. So she must have, just quickly thrown clothes on top of it, and must have forgotten it was on the bottom of her bag. And when they searched her, or her bag went through the medical thing, or the metal thing, the screen scanning, they must have seen it and quickly, But because, like Chris said and like Logan said, she does play over there when WNBA is not around. She goes to Russia. That's where she's from, and she plays there. So she I'm gonna stick on her side on that one. She must have forgotten that was in her bag, and she got caught with it. But then again, always look through your bag and make sure it's empty, because you never know what's gonna happen in situations kind of like this.
I'm about to say now you see the consequences of it,
bro. When you look. If I'm packing my bags and I'm getting on a bus, okay, what else? You're going through an airport. You gonna talk, and you got medical marijuana. I ain't never seen a weed head who didn't know what the hell their marijuana was.
Well, Jay, she plays against Phoenix, right? For the Phoenix Mercuries. No. No, what I'm saying is she probably packed a bag that was already probably halfway packed from her traveling with the WNBA or whatever like that, or with her team, and she probably quickly, just threw a little bit extra clothes in there, probably forgot, didn't even look
she
through
is
it.
goofy.
I mean, I understand what you're trying to say, Jay, but it does come a time where, us potheads do forget a little bit.
What, though, but Frankie, at the end of the day, as an American and as a person who is concerned about everybody as a whole, Biden's a really tough spot as a president. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not easy being in the spot in which he's in.
She didn't try sneaking in there.
He's in a spot where you got the American people begging for her release. So he's got that political pressure there. But he also has the national security element of, well, if I let the Merchant of Death, that's not an exaggeration, that's his nickname, the Merchant of Death, who we know supports terroristic actions. So as a president, you have to be able to say, okay, what's the priority here? Getting a one person home or sacrificing the lives of thousands? I'm just saying. And sometimes it's not easy being the president, and you got to make that presidential call.
I'll tell you right now, if Trump was president, Trump is not bringing her back. If Trump was president, Trump is not bringing her back. He will say, do your damn 10 years.
I think he said that on a podcast, actually, like the other day, actually, Frank. I think he actually said that.
I think he did, yeah.
Something along those lines.
Trump will not give a fuck. Excuse my language, but he will not.
No. And again, if you're the president, he represents the whole populace. And
he's going to make us look soft.
You got to protect the populace. But anyway.
And Damien, to answer your question, she was over there because she actually makes more money playing ball in Russia than what she makes here in the United States playing ball.
Right. And that's why I said what I said. Women athletes are valued differently in other countries than they are here.
I'll tell you what it is. What needs to happen in this country is women as a whole need to start supporting women in sports. I guarantee you, if women probably outnumber the men. I have to look it up to get the actual statistic, but I'm pretty sure there's either equal to, if not more, women than men. And if the women would get behind the WNBA, then these women athletes would be making just as much money as the men.
I'll tell you what, Jay, my household is definitely more women than men. I know that for sure.
I know yours is.
There's probably more.
There's genetics that produces females. You ain't got no male genetics.
Same here.
Look at that. So if Jonathan's producing females, I'm producing.
Man, hey, y'all be producing those females.
There goes your percentage. Tells you right there, Jay. This world is taken over by females.
Bro, I'm telling you, hey, listen, man. But you know what? Hey, we love women. If it wasn't for women, we would not be able to produce the beautiful people that we produce. So let's love our women as much as we, love everything else. Just don't. If you're a woman, please. If the Astros or the Yankees are on, or the Dodgers are on, maybe even the Braves. I don't know about the Braves, but okay, we'll put the Braves in there. Don't come talking to us.
Definitely not the Reds. If the Reds are playing, you can talk to us. That's fine. That's nothing going on in Cincinnati. Only for football. But
Chris is just waiting for football season at this point.
Man,
actually, Chris shouldn't be waiting for football season. He got Matt Ryan to deal with.
That's true.
Hey, listen, we're getting some final thoughts. Real quick, Thursday, that starts preseason. So I really want the people on this panel to really start diving into training camp updates, maybe on your own teams, things like that. And then I want to bring that kind of to the table on Thursday, where our teams stand at training camp and, what we think about our teams going into the season, things like that. So we're going to do a training camp update. That's going to be probably the main focus for Thursday will be training camp updates.
Hold on. Jay, you said preseason starts this Thursday?
Yeah, it starts Thursday, brother.
What's the first game?
Raiders and Jaguars.
God, man, I've been paying so much attention to baseball with the Yankees this year. Like I haven't even
realized the was here. I mean,
the
preseason was here, didn't you?
Yeah, bro. I thought preseason was like another week away or something.
Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne are both sitting out the Hall of Fame game. They're not playing at all.
Sounds like an easy win for the black and silver.
Well,
I'm just
I mean, the
saying.
Hall of Fame game is not even a preseason game because like those two teams that are playing in the Hall of Fame game actually get 5 games, or actually 4 games now that there's 3 games in the preseason. But they'll get four totals in their record. So I don't count the Hall of Fame game as like a preseason game.
I got you.
Gonzo, let's get us some final thoughts, man.
Reds are winning 2-1. We'll see if they can hold on and get a win, even though we don't have nobody. But other than that, I'm ready for football to start.
There we go.
Ready for baseball playoffs. 'Cause I watch baseball playoffs whether the Reds are in it or not. I watch every playoff game.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, it's too good to pass
Well,
up.
the
It's like
Dodgers
really
are in
any
it
sport.
every year.
Yeah.
Well,
The
of
Dodgers
course,
are in it every year, but they find a way to lose.
I was gonna say, of course, all of us watch the playoffs because all of our teams basically sometimes don't win it. I mean, for Chris, he's forced to watch the playoffs because he needs to see who's gonna be champions or something.
Hey, I have to watch it. I love watching baseball.
Right.
Yeah.
It must be a sad night in Washington, D.C.
Oh yeah. It's
It must be
Why?
a sad night in Washington, D.C.
Why
Why you say
weren't
that?
they? I thought they were up 1-0 on the Mets.
Well, it's
This is
1-1, but it's sad because you gave up a generational talent. That's sad.
yeah, man. The food ain't hitting the same. There was a lot of parking. It was just rough there, I'm sure.
We knew it was gonna happen once they got rid of Bryce Harper. We knew that franchise was gonna go down.
The nachos
It
were
was just a
stale.
matter of time.
Fries were cold.
They
It's just
went
not
down.
good.
They went down rather quickly too.
Yeah, and you know what? You know what rised up? The paper bag percentage.
Yeah,
Hey,
you can say that.
Yeah.
Hey, question for everybody on this panel, real quick.
Yep.
Maybe you kind of brought up a question here. I'll throw it up. Talking
Oh
about
my God.
fantasy league. No, hey, listen, though, that is kind of something I didn't even ask. God damn, I've been so like Frankie. I've been kind of consumed with baseball myself. But hey, do we want to do another fantasy league with Unscripted?
Well, Jay, Damian is mentioning this because we did make
We
a
did
promise
kinda
to
tell them.
Damian.
Also, did y'all play him on for SummerSlam?
We
Chris?
didn't. No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
Okay, I feel like you gotta make
Hey,
it
real
up to him.
quick,
Babe.
I wasn't supposed. I didn't know I was supposed to put them off for SummerSlam.
Chris, that's messed up, Chris. Why would you send him the invite?
Logan, Frankie, are we doing a fantasy football? I think we should. I think we should.
We'll get
Yes.
a head. Yeah, we'll get a head count. See who all's coming, and we'll get something going soon.
I will not be
We'll give
joining
you an
the
answer on
ASAP.
Thursday.
I will not be joining the ASAP fantasy draft, but I
This
will
is just
definitely.
the
we will
No, we're not
definitely-
doing Unscripted.
yeah.
We're not doing Unscripted. Unscripted has its own draft. We're doing an
I'm
Unscripted.
about to say,
Yeah.
we're doing a separate. This is where Damien's involved. ASAP doesn't allow Damien.
Hey, listen, stand by. Damien. More to follow on Saturday. Logan, Frankie,
Yep.
Jonathan, so we'll all talk about it.
We'll figure it out.
And Saturday we'll come up with a decision on what we're gonna do.
We'll do it just like last year. We'll have the link of the fantasy football league on our page at Unscripted.
Well, like I said, we'll give you
And
updates.
I'll probably throw the link. We'll try to get the link in. Maybe some of the comments for a couple of those that we kind of click it there if you don't see it. Whatever. We'll figure it out.
Because like I said, we still got time for the season, so we're still good.
Frankie, did you already give your final thoughts?
I didn't, Jay, and I'm glad that you came to me for my final thoughts because I got a lot of thoughts in my head,
Oh no.
but they're sexual, so I'm not gonna say them out loud. I'm not gonna say them out loud, Logan. But I will tell you this: I got some very hard nipples right now. I got some very hard nipples because the Yankees they were down 4-0, now they're down 4-3, and nothing could be sweeter than Frankie the Yankee in front of the TV, giving my boys that luck. And me coming back to Mikey Delaney and making him cry even more, than he should be because he talked a lot of trash to me and Jay in the beginning of the season, and now it's just not happening for him. He's really quiet. I mean,
he is off the grid. We
haven't heard from Mickey in a minute.
He
He'll come
talks a
back.
lot, and then he wins like how many games against the Astros in the past 2 series? Jay, like 1 game. And you guys played them in a 4-game series, 3-game series.
I think it was like 6-1.
I'm getting off it.
Look at that. So they got 1 win, and then today he did write me today around like 7:30 when the Astros or when the the Seattle Mariners were up 3-0. He rang me like, "Oh, how are you doing? Are you feeling okay?" And I'm like, really? This is how we doing it? He's like, okay, Mickey.
He said, "How are you?"
I'm like, okay, this is how we doing it, because he's doing the same exact thing that Jay does. And I tell Jay this every time. Jay knows my line. Jay, what's my line with the Yankees?
It's too early. They're going to come back towards the end.
That's exactly what we do.
And I will tell you that. That's probably true, except for the Astros, because we know that didn't happen, but maybe 2 times.
Oh, that happened twice. It happened twice. 2 walk-off home runs. Come on, Jay.
It's
Come on,
4-1.
Jay.
It's 4-1 Nationals.
Come on, Jay.
4-1 Nationals.
Don't try to say 4-1
my God.
Nationals. Let's go.
Off of the Grom?
4-1 Nationals.
No,
Yep.
Jacob DeGrom sat. Didn't they take him out?
Did they?
Because when I turned it to the TV.
Yeah, he's no longer in the game.
Okay, so he went like 3 innings.
At least
Yeah,
I
he
don't
went like 3 or
think
4
he is.
innings.
Well, you gotta
No, he went
protect
like
that
4.
guy, you know.
Oh yeah, you gotta
I
keep
didn't
him.
think he would throw more than maybe 70, 75 pitches
Yeah,
tonight.
you gotta have him on a restriction right now.
Yeah, no doubt.
Fuck
On the
Jacob
pitch
DeGrom.
count.
Let's move
No,
down
but-
to Big Shot Rob for final thoughts. Big Shot Rob.
Yeah, what's going on?
He comes in mad gangster like, yo,
it's a cut.
yeah, what's going on, y'all?
Yeah, just a couple quick football injuries here. Cowboys wide receiver James Washington suffered a foot injury, a fracture. He's expected to be out 6 to 10 weeks. So Jay, man, your Cowboys need to get another wide receiver. If I were them, I would probably go after like Cole Beasley, because he's already played with the Cowboys before. But I mean, we'll see what the Cowboys do. They're definitely going to need another wide receiver. Obviously, Amari Cooper went to the Browns. I'm sure they're going to be missing him this year. And in other news, Tom Brady is missing his center. Ryan Jensen had a knee injury, so he's going to be out for the year. And I wonder who they're going to try to go after to replace him, because I know centers are hard to find in the NFL. So we'll see what happens with the Buccaneers and their offensive line with Tom Brady missing his center. So, yep, that's all I really got to say. Some football news.
Rob,
you're missing something. You missed something from your team.
Yeah, you're missing someone from the. You're missing
You're
something
missing
from the
something from your
Dolphins. Come on, bro.
Dolphins, you know.
Come on, what happened to your Dolphins, Rob? Don't be a little. Come on.
They got caught trying to cheat.
Yeah, Rob.
Oh, I think I heard about that.
A little bit of tampering.
Oh,
involved.
he heard about. He heard about it, guys. He heard about it. Come on, Rob.
Boy, that first round pick y'all missing next year is gonna sting.
Rob's like, man, I've been out of Miami so long. I feel like the Buffalo thing is rubbing off, man. I might become a Bills in a couple months.
Nah, man.
What in the hell are you doing? Catch the fucking ball. I'm sorry. I thought I was muted.
Man, that's hey, you know what? That's frustration right there.
Man, let me just say, I enjoy the enthusiasm from Chris right now, watching some high quality cricket right now. Shout out cricket. But let me just say,
anyway,
I'm about to say,
I like Stephen Ross, anyways, man. I don't really like him as an owner, man. I don't think he knows what he's doing. He doesn't know football. I don't like Stephen Ross as an owner, man. I just don't think he's a good owner.
I got you. Yeah, Dolphins are better hope to God that they're going to be good this year, so that pick don't mean nothing.
I think they are. I got a good feeling about it.
We'll see.
Be good. Yep.
I'm about to say, me and Jay made a trade today, so we're at peace for now. We gave you Smith, you gave us Odorizzi. Nice little handshake agreement there. The Reds, I'm sorry, Chris, you're going to have a bunch of bag boys playing in your starting lineup for the next few weeks, working out at the Circle K. It's going to be Frankie, I'm sorry. I know
called them bag boys.
Frankie, I know that,
what are you doing?
You replace Joey Gallo, but you already have someone you hate more in Frankie Montes.
Chris,
just
Chris,
the moniker.
stop watching the game. Just stop watching it.
Chris is going to be hospitalized just for too much Reds baseball, unfortunately. Also, Damon said Chris is watching foosball. Also, yeah, Damien, thoughts on Sasha Naomi come back? There's reports they're coming back. I wouldn't be surprised they're coming back now that Vince is gone and doing whatever he wants to do now with his free money. But it's going to be fun, though. Wrestling's fun. Got AEW to watch tomorrow, so that's going to be fun. And,
Raw was pretty good last night.
Yeah, Raw was
Raw
actually
was
enjoyable. I hate the 3 hours still, but it was enjoyable to watch. I didn't
The
want
first
to.
hour with no commercials was awesome.
I can say I did not want to tear my hair out last night, so that is a first. But that's my final thoughts. See you everyone on Thursday.
All right.
Can I just say something about the Dolphins thing?
Please.
Brian Flores was right the whole time. Free Brian Flores, get the man a job, and bring him back.
Yes,
Oh yeah.
I agree.
Yep. He
Gotta cover the
got
Steelers, man.
he got screwed. Yeah, but not as head coach though.
Not as a head coach, but
Brian
Maybe
Flores will
Mike
get a head
Tom.
coaching job. I think
Yeah.
it's just a matter of time.
I'm about to
He's
say,
going
man.
to get a head coaching job.
I think he'll get another job. I do.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Tomlin might be done.
Oh yeah, Mike Tomlin's he's about to work at McDonald's.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin's down to his final days. He's on the hot seat, man.
Hey, hold on. Hey, let me give Jonathan some love here real quick, man. Final thoughts, Jonathan.
Jay, is there a possible way that you could bleep me out? Like literally bleep me out? 'Cause I'm about to
I
drop.
got you. Hold on. Time out
I'm
now.
about to drop the
Yeah,
F bomb
Hey,
on the
listen,
show.
hold on.
What the actual fuck did the Dodgers do today? They didn't do anything, and they traded away Mitch White. Can someone please explain to me why in the hell they traded away Mitch White, and why did they
Get off
get
the screen.
and why did they get Gallo?
now he's saying why did they get Gallo? An hour ago he's like, "You're welcome, Frankie. You're welcome."
Daily
sir."
intern.
Yeah.
Jay, fix the screen. This is why he is the intern.
Hey,
He's
watch
still
that.
learning.
Hey, and every else, I have a really good haircut and a really good lineup, so I want y'all to see my lineup, man.
But Jay, it's
you
not
know
haircut
what, man?
Thursday.
Damn,
It's Tuesday.
they can't line up some good stuff out here in Hinesville.
Jonathan, forget all that smoke. I'm
getting
getting on me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
new
listen,
camera
hold on. I'm bringing it back. Hold on.
Listen,
I don't
John.
Well, I mean, you know,
Jonathan.
it could be a lot worse. I could be in Chris' situation over there
I was gonna say
watching,
you
watching
can,
baseball
you
game.
can. But don't get too mad at Joey Gallo. He sucks at the batter box. He can't hit the ball real good, but he's a good defender. He's a good left fielder. He's got an arm.
He's a great defender.
But when it comes,
But you know what? Maybe the lights were too bright for him in New York. Maybe the lights were too bright for him in New York, and the stage was too big.
Back in Texas.
So he'll go to LA now.
He was good with the Rangers. Then he fell off when he became a Yankee, when he put on them pinstripes.
Oh, he fell off all right.
He literally batted
Here in about
Man.
20 years, when the Reds win again, you guys are going to hate me because I'm going to talk
I'm
all
about to
kinds
say,
of shit.
Chris,
It might
whenever the
take 20
Reds,
years, but there will be a day I get to talk my shit.
hey, whenever the Reds are in the 2046 World Series and we're all just struggling to get to a computer screen, you're just
I'll be
gonna
57
enter
when
out,
that
I
happens.
told you so.
I'll be 57 years old in
Hey,
20
Chris,
years
let
when
me
the Reds win again.
Hey, you remember back in the day when we talked?
Back in my day, I said on Unscripted.
Hey, no,
No,
but here's the deal. Hey, real quick. With the
Okay,
Cowboys.
guys, I'm about to bounce.
All right, see you, bro.
Hey, be good, brother. We'll get you on Thursday.
All right. I'm gonna bounce
Hey,
too, man.
just real quick. My final thoughts, and then we out of here. Is so the Cowboys, like you said, lost James Washington, so we're down to CeeDee Lamb as our number one. We got Tolbert as our number two. Jerry Jones came out and basically said, "Hey, until further notice, we don't plan to bring in any free agents." So basically, he's willing to ride out with these basically no-name guys. So he's gonna ride with Tolbert until Gallup comes back. And when Gallup comes back, he's going to put him in the line. But right now, it's going to be CeeDee Lamb, Tolbert, and then a mixture of Simmons, Caruso, Dennis Houston, Ja'Cory Robertson, Ty Friogle, TJ Vasher, Ontario Drummond, and Brandon Smith. None of those guys have I ever heard of in my life. So I guess it's
Get in there,
quite
Jay.
What a sad time to be alive in football. I don't know.
Hey,
Are you done? Are you
I'm
done?
gonna end my final thoughts on one thing, Jay, and that's golf. Tiger Woods turned out a substantial amount of money with Live. I think it was like 700 mil.
They're saying it's between
700 to
700 to
800.
800 million.
I mean, it ain't like he needs it, but my God,
How do you turn? Look, I get principle.
bro, he's
Don't
got
get me wrong,
pride
people
going
good.
through his
I
veins.
get it. But how do you turn down $700 million?
If they would have got him, oh god, that would have been something to see.
Oh, PGA would have been.
PGA would have been cooked. Because you know how many fans are just Tiger fans that watch golf?
And you know how many other golfers would go over there just because Tiger went over there?
And they saw how much money he got.
Yeah. Well, hell,
And then
Dustin Johnson.
you know how much. And you know how much
Justin
money
got
those
more
people
money
will lose,
than-
bro?
Yeah.
They're stupid.
I'm about to say, I'm surprised. Hey, I'm surprised that Tiger, as old as he is, and I get he's been there his whole life, but man,
That set your kids and everybody up, their kids and their kids and
generations with that much. Hey, oh no, did we lose Jay? Did we lose Jay with just a little bit of time left?
No, that's Jay's face. He wants us to paint it.
Oh, he wants us to paint it.
Yeah. Hey Jay, can you move?
Hi, Jay. He looks so
He look like
distinguished.
He looks like the thinking guy, like the
I was about to
statue.
say. Yeah, he does.
Jay, you okay?
Man, Jay looks like he's about to go on someone's Facebook
Oh,
page.
there you go. There you go.
Well, does anyone have the capabilities to end the stream?
do.
So
I do.
hit the intro if you can, or the outro, and we'll get out of here. Sorry, Jay, if you're watching. We'll see you Thursday, 7 o'clock, everyone.
Yes, everybody, have a good night. From Jay Mclovin to Chris Gonzales to me, Frankie the Yankee, the true Frankie the Yankee, and our boy Logan Landers. Also, we want to thank Jonathan Mantis for stopping by, and our boy Rob, the original Rob Strike. You guys have a wonderful day. We love you guys. Come back on Thursday. We'll be here 7 p.m. Eastern time, where we will have, we'll have the first preseason game, and we'll get that on the way. Hall of Fame game. Till then, is your boy Jay. I'm sorry, I'm taking over, bro. We're closing out.
Hey, that's all we have. Hey, listen, we got multiple people that can run this show. We're good.
Just
See you guys on Thursday. Let's go, Yankees. Fuck the Astros. The hell with the Braves. And there's nothing to say about the Reds. Have a good night.
Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.